Now here's another thing I want to tell you in the Semitic tongue, brother. You know, these days we speak in English language.
Yeah.
And we use these words like the devil or Satan or Lucifer or Diablos.
Yeah, good and evil. Yeah.
Just some meaningless labels of an entity we call the devil. But in the Semitic languages, brother, these words have a meaning, you know.
Oh, okay.
The name Iblis comes from the verb ablasa, which means to despair or to give up hope in God. Despair is an emotional magnetic energy. We feel it. Anxiety, despair, when people feel hopeless. This is an emotional or a spiritual state.
So like in a Satan now.
So and Shaitan, so he went through stages. First he was Iblis, first he gave up hope in God, and then he became Shaitan. Now the word Shaitan, the Proto-Indo-European word shit even means to rot, to separate, to rot, to decay. Now in Semitic tongue, a shatun is a word for a deep, a well or a ditch. So when you dig a deep well or a ditch, that's the word for a shatan or shatun, is a deep well or a ditch. So a shaitan linguistically means one who's covered himself in darkness. One who's entered a deep, he's dug himself into a deep ditch or a deep depression.
And it make more sense like that.
Depression.
But the English meaning.
Depression, yes.
No, you don't have no meaning behind it.
So now, if you tell someone Diablos or Satan is meaningless, but when you tell them despair and depression, well, okay, now this is the force that governs most of our existence. Most of the earth right now is in despair, in a state of hopelessness and in a state of depression, you know. So this is the magnetic energy that gives the demonic world life. It's a loss of hope in God, faithlessness, and and then cutting yourself off.
You have good knowledge.
Denying,
you know that. You have good knowledge.
Denying truth. No, this is what I'm saying, brother. The ancient languages are highly advanced, mathematical and structured. Every letter has a meaning. So the people. So the people that describe, if you want to call yourself Israelite, the first favor you can do is learn their language. If you want to understand what your ancestors believed, learn the Hebrew, Arabic, Aramaic, learn the Semitic languages, so you can truly have an appreciation of what their world beliefs and their culture was. These days, unfortunately, when English is our first language, we can't help but pick up a Judeo-Christian filter and impose that on the Semitic tradition, and that's what creates a lot of confusion. We've divorced ourselves from the language of our ancestors and from studying it, because a lot of people, they just believe that language is just arbitrary. There's no structure to it, there's no coherence to it, it's not mathematical, but that's not true. The further back in time you go, languages become way more advanced. And they don't want you to realize that, because when we understand that languages are more advanced than mathematical, going backwards.
You know, haki. Aki.
You
don't know Aki?
Aki means brother.
I know a little,
Yeah.
We're not talking about Aki and Salvi.
I give you an example. You know the word for tree?